We're underway, round one, here at the Garden. Golovkin in the white trunks, Derevyanchenko in the gold and black. Derevyanchenko, very conventional. Sergio has a good jab. He's very steady and defensively responsible.
Responsible and powerful. He's going to need technique against Triple G. He's going to have to fight in the inside and back up Golovkin, which is something a lot of fighters can't do. They say they're going to try it, but you're going to have to back up Golovkin in order to be successful.
Derevyanchenko, a little success there with the jab, able to stick that out. You can see the amateur pedigree right away. Just getting off first, getting that jab out there, putting it right in Golovkin's face.
One of the issues, though, that Derevyanchenko has had in his professional career is that he's a bit of a slow starter. It's what got him into a bit of a hole with Daniel Jacobs. Happened against Jack Polke, dug himself out of it. You have to start fast to try to get some points against Gennadiy Golovkin.
Look, he's athletic. He's sound. You wonder, I would put it this way. At his best, Derevyanchenko is fighting on fire. He needs fire. And there should be no greater motivation than right here with this man in front of him with a middleweight belt on the line.
Well, it's funny, Derevyanchenko told me earlier today, planned on moving a lot. Right now, not a lot of movement.
Standing straight in front of his man. Golovkin, meantime, just kind of peers in. He got off to a slow start against Steve Rolls in June. Of course, he finished it in tremendous fashion. There's a jab and another one from Golovkin. He has the most accurate jab in boxing. Lands over 30% of his jabs, and there, a hook off the jab. Starting to get a work, starting to get a bit of a lather. Chris, did you ever find out, did he have a bit of a cold, a little bit of a flu-like symptoms, Golovkin, earlier this week?
Well, one thing that was notable about Golovkin is that on the second day weigh-in, which the IBF requires, you can't come in more than 10 pounds over the 160-pound limit. He missed it, just a little bit. 160 pounds, 170.2 pounds. Later in the
It looked like he had weathered that combination, but clearly he had not. Now let's see what Golovkin does. Derevyanchenko fires back in survival mode.
Derevyanchenko put his head down. Golovkin had no choice but to punch down. That's what caused the knockdown.
Surprise knockdown here in the first round after Derevyanchenko had gotten off to a decent start. That is the power of Triple G. Now Derevyanchenko moving his head a little bit more. Has to be a bit discouraging, getting off to a solid start, then suddenly you're on the canvas. Kind of a delayed reaction knockdown. We will definitely take a look at that. The class and the power and the cream rising to the top. Golovkin starting slow and
used to run strong.
All-time great Wayne Rooney here, the footballer, is here to enjoy this. It's an international spectacle here. Surprise knockdown in round number one. So it's a 10-8 round, according to Chris Mannix. I know, Chris, you were just talking back and forth, and suddenly I thought, all right, the uppercut got him. I didn't think the shot to the back of the head would do that damage, but knocked down in the first round.
It did look like Derevyanchenko was a little off balance trying to go under those shots, and he got caught in a perfect spot, just went down.
Now he's going to have to really pick up the pace to win rounds here. Again, he's not the type of fighter to just start you with one shot, and certainly you can't really expect to knock out Golovkin. At least we wouldn't expect that. So he's got to get some rounds in the bank if he hopes to win, and he is already in the hole.
Derevyanchenko with two straight right hands earlier, straight to the body of Golovkin. I love that punch. I hope he continues throwing it.
There's a little uppercut hook to the body. He's boxed well, Sergio. That's the thing. He's been knocked down and really defines the fight as far as the scoring, but he's fought well.
No, he's boxed well, and he's backing up Golovkin, which is what you're supposed to do. Back up the monster and go to the body.
Golovkin now goes to the body as well with the hook. He goes upstairs and downstairs, and it will be interesting to see with a full camp with Jonathan Banks if they're able to establish what they call a new rhythm. Banks calls Golovkin a happy warrior, said he wants to bring that joy to the training, bring the joy to the ring, and let it all flow.
I think more importantly for Golovkin, he's active. He had a 266-day layoff between the Canelo fight and the fight against Steve Rolls. This is a guy that at the peak of his powers was fighting 4 times in 1 year. So being this active, I think is only good for Golovkin.
Well, he's back in there now. Again, Rolls that was the long layoff, and now you would figure, all right, he's at the camp and lead off from Golovkin. And he is able to do damage with any shot. We saw that against Steve Rolls. Uppercut. That caught Derevyanchenko.
Derevyanchenko landed some good body shots, counter body shots. I want to see a lot more of that.
It appears Derevyanchenko is bloodied a little bit, right in the corner of his right eye as well. Doesn't appear Golovkin has done a lot of damage, but his face, Derevyanchenko's face, says otherwise. Final minute of the second round. Another lead hook and a body shot by Triple G. Derevyanchenko still effective with the jab. 3 more good jabs, but he is starting to bleed there. And there's a hook off the jab by Triple G as well. He is starting to bloody Derevyanchenko's face.
That cut is not in a good place for Derevyanchenko.
You know, Golovkin doesn't even appear to be throwing hard, and yet look at the damage he's done. It's been nice and easy so far in this fight. And you can say he's been outboxed Golovkin. If you take away the knockdown and the cut, off to just a slow start. But he has done the damage so far in this fight. Round 3, scheduled for the championship 12. I mean, he is just methodical and powerful. Even with Derevyanchenko boxing well, Sergio jabbing well, he's getting beat up.
Expect this to be a really big and interesting round right here. Derevyanchenko is fight or flight, and he's definitely not going to fight. He's fighting back. There's going to be an interesting round right here.
Got everything going against him so far as he lands a shot to the body, springs to the side, trying to make things happen.
I love those body shots by Derevyanchenko and getting the angle on Golovkin.
He's going to work. He knows the clock is ticking. Throws a right hand as well. He's tough. He's experienced. He knows this is his chance. Golovkin fires an uppercut back.
This is how some fighters have had success against Golovkin. Get him the inside, bang him to the body, and back him up.
Going to the body after the jabs, but he continues to have success with the jab. And now firing off a combination on Triple G.
And you can tell there's a sense of urgency in Derevyanchenko. If you're Andre Rozier in his corner, you have to know that the chances not great that you can survive the entire fight with that type of cut.
Great action here in round 3. Derevyanchenko making it happen as the odds start to stack up against him.
Oh, what a body shot right there by Golovkin.
You know, Sergio, he doesn't even have to wind up to hit you hard. You know, it looks like he's just placing his shots, and he can do damage. Derevyanchenko comes back with a hook to the head.
Golovkin, his power comes from technique.
Now the cut is bad. It is in a bad place. And a jab lands by Golovkin, but it doesn't appear to be filling up his eye right now. In other words, Chris, I'm saying it could be worse, right?
It could be, and I think it will get worse as Golovkin with that jab.
As he hits him again. As well.
Golovkin landed a nice left hook that shook Derevyanchenko right now.
And Sergio, if you're Golovkin, that cut becomes basically a target, doesn't it? I mean, that's what you're aiming for every single time you go to the head.
You tear that cut apart with solid jabs. Do not relent.
Good body work by Derevyanchenko. He goes to the body again with the right hand. He's been very effective, and he goes to the head. Right hand to the head by Derevyanchenko. Been effective with the body work, Sergio.
Yes, he has, and I love seeing that. That's the only way you beat Golovkin. You got to take him to the body. Back him up, just like he's doing right now.
Final seconds of round 3. And again, the sense of urgency for Derevyanchenko, who has fought well in this fight. Has been knocked down, and yet, I mean, this looks like this could end any minute.
Golovkin's not having a great night, but Derevyanchenko, he fought really well in that 3rd round. He's going to have to have another successful round right here in the 4th.
Derevyanchenko with a lot of head movement as well. Let's go to Claudia Trejos. Claudia?
Thank you, BK. We had a chance to speak to Rozier, and he's a bit concerned with that cut. He thinks it's a headbutt. He's not sure it was actually a punch, even though our cameras did show that. But he's asking him to keep moving forward and go into circular motions. That way he will not be in Gennadiy Golovkin's range.
Claudia, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, they've got to hope. I mean, the first time we saw it, we wondered too, could there be a clash of heads? That is not what we have seen. He doesn't have the benefit of replay. Here, round 4. First minute of this round, and Derevyanchenko goes back to work, jabbing consistently. Golovkin that time with a 3-punch combination, finished with a right to the body.
And back to backing up Golovkin. He had some good success, landed an overhand right on Golovkin.
Golovkin is able to take his time.
Keep him up, keep him up.
Obviously vastly experienced, relaxed.
And Sergio, there are a lot of skills that you learn as a boxer. Fighting with a cut is kind of a skill, isn't it? You know, figuring out how to get through fights when you're dealing with that type of injury.
Oh, absolutely. It's skill you have to learn on the job. You can't get cut sparring in camp, so that you learn the hard way. You learn there, and it gets in your way. With the Vaseline, the sweat, it stings your eye. It's very, very difficult to see clearly when you're bloody eye.
Well, Sergio, along those lines, it seems like Sergey is reacting well to this, right? He is not wiping at it. He's not freaked out, in other words.
The worst thing to do is wipe at it, because the Vaseline on your glove and your eyebrow is going to stick your eyebrows down. I mean, your eyelashes.
He's got to keep the guard up as well, and his right hand up there. He's waving at it now, but he is also firing that right hand.
I love the way Derevyanchenko has responded to adversity. Look at those body shots, Brian. I'm telling you, those body shots, Golovkin's feeling them. That's why he's backing up.
Good combination by Derevyanchenko. We are starting to hear word there's a possibility that that cut was caused not by a punch, but by a headbutt. We'll see what the commission is saying specifically when we can get more information. That's just coming to us right now. Again, they get through this round, and if that is on an accidental headbutt, then it could go to the scorecards. So that changes things.
I hope it doesn't go to the scorecards. Derevyanchenko finding some success with his combinations, and it starts with a body punching, making Golovkin miss just like that.
Steve Smolder, we're hearing that the commission has ruled that from an accidental headbutt. What are we hearing?
Brian, that does change. Time!
Now, at the cut.
Okay.
They're saying it's okay.
Time in!
Round 5. And again, we thought that that cut came from a hook from Gennadiy Golovkin. The commission has ruled otherwise. And here's how Chris Mannix has it scored so far. It is that close.
And let me tell you something. If you're Jonathan Banks in Golovkin's corner, you have to be telling him, if that's caused by a headbutt, you got to start racking up rounds. You got to make sure that you're up on the scorecards, because this fight, it could be stopped at any time.
That's a good point. Good point. Doctors are going to take a close look. Again, here in New York, you saw there are a number of doctors up there on the ring apron, and when you have several doctors looking, and they're looking at a bad cut, you never know. And you won't have 12 rounds.
And I got to tell you, I think Derevyanchenko is aware of that. I think that's how he's fighting, knowing that this fight could be stopped. And if he gets just one more round, he could win a decision.
Gennadiy Golovkin now might feel the sense of urgency. You see the numbers right there in favor of Derevyanchenko. Now, how the judges are scoring it could be a different matter. But Derevyanchenko is having success, and he is landing. Those are scoring shots. Landing with the jab and following up the right hand. Suddenly, things change dramatically.
Golovkin took 2 deep breaths right now. I don't know if those body shots are catching up to him, but he's a little bit more quiet in this round. Derevyanchenko had 2 good last rounds.
Look at Derevyanchenko just popping the jab straight out. Doesn't have to be full throttle, but he's landing. Yeah, Golovkin again took a big gulp of air there.
That's his 3rd one this round.
No, Brad, I didn't finish what I was saying earlier about how Golovkin is physically. He did miss the first weigh-in at the 170-pound limit, the second-day weigh-in. Had to strip down to reach 170 pounds. That's unusual for Gennadiy Golovkin. So couldn't forebode something in this fight.
Good uppercut by Golovkin there. He's still a dangerous man, but right now Derevyanchenko is outworking Gennadiy Golovkin.
Golovkin catches him with a right uppercut, but I love what Derevyanchenko did. He countered back with 2 hard punches to the body.
That right hand was blocked. That one as well. God is reacting to it, and maybe the judges can as well. But Derevyanchenko goes right back to work. He's able to block those shots. That jab and that hook did land, though, by Triple G. Interesting fight now. Everything is in the balance. As every round, Derevyanchenko goes to the corner, and the doctors will take a close look.
Stay off his head.
Derevyanchenko looks faster to me, a little bit more busier. His hand speed is a little bit more than Triple G's in the last 2-3 rounds.
His offense is just tight, Sergio. Look at that. And hard shot to the body. Golovkin is one of them. Golovkin shot to the body. He got hit hard there in the final seconds. 10 seconds for Derevyanchenko. Golovkin going to try to fight out of it. But we've really never seen Golovkin hurt like this. Body shots. Again, could be a bug, could be a cold, wasn't feeling great. Derevyanchenko has done outstanding work here in this fight, and that body shot, again, that was a wounded Triple G, and we've rarely seen that. I mean, you just don't see this man hurt in his career. Chris Mannix giving Derevyanchenko that 5th round as Golovkin comes out firing here in the 6th. He has got to change the equation here. Golovkin at 37 is forced to dig down deep here at Madison Square Garden. A loss would be devastating to his career. Straight up the middle comes Derevyanchenko.
One thing I know, Brian, is the older you get, the less you could take punches to the head and to the body, and we're seeing that with Golovkin. He was definitely hurt with that body shot.
And the punch stat numbers there. Derevyanchenko in round 5, out-throwing and outlanding Golovkin. Golovkin having a better round here in the first minute, coming out aggressive, and he's just going to have to show more. Good counter jab by Derevyanchenko, and he fires out a few more. He is fired up, feeling the urgency. Up on his toes, moving, he's got rhythm. Golovkin will try to take it away from him. And now we go to work. Derevyanchenko is hurting Gennadiy Golovkin.
Beautiful angles by Derevyanchenko, not forgetting the body, getting the angles, spinning off the ropes, banging away.
Throwing hard body shots at every turn, and digs to the body again. Right to the side of the head. Golovkin is forced to move back. That rarely happens. A constant stream of jabs and right hands. Derevyanchenko's work rate is outstanding. Straight up the middle with the right hand comes Golovkin. The championship pedigree is being tested. Can Golovkin answer? Just missed with the hook. This fight very much in the balance, and that cut, Derevyanchenko's corner has done an outstanding job. We haven't even mentioned it now in this round. It's barely a factor. Good jabs by Golovkin. Chris, this has got to be close on the judges' cards.
Incredibly close. But Derevyanchenko, I thought, has done a great job of securing these rounds, at least in the last 2.
Right hand and a hook coming from Golovkin. Trying to punctuate this round and hits him with an uppercut as the bell. Drama here at Madison Square Garden, round 7. Chris Mannix giving that round to Gennadiy Golovkin. Claudia Trejos has more. Claudia?
Thank you, BK. I just had a quick chat with Jonathan Banks. There's sense of urgency in this corner. They're asking Gennadiy to keep throwing those hands. That left hook that you guys mentioned really created some trouble for Gennadiy, but fortunately, he says he recovered. But nonetheless, they're expecting him to be a little bit more productive and make sure that he can finish off the rounds.
He started strong there, Claudia. Thank you so much in that previous round, in round 6, and now here round 7. He gets to work immediately, but Derevyanchenko is solid, straight up the middle, with his hooks, with his right hands, and with that ever-present jab.
Making Golovkin miss, making him pay downstairs.
Derevyanchenko is just in great shape. His work rate has been terrific throughout this fight. He had everything stacked against him. That's a good hook by Golovkin, and yet he has battled back. He has been consistent throughout this fight.
You know, one thing about Golovkin, he has never been a prolific body puncher. And Derevyanchenko is not being presented with a very complex opponent. Golovkin throws big shots, but he's throwing them all, or mostly all, to the head.
And Derevyanchenko was able to land to the body there as well. There's a good jab by Golovkin. That's what he's known for. But there seems to be just a little less starch in Golovkin tonight. Again, we don't know the level of his sickness, if he was ill, just not feeling great. A little less starch in his game here tonight. Hard right hand.
That was a good body shot by Golovkin. Derevyanchenko took it well.
Goes to the body again with the right. Bending down with an uppercut. Again, that cut in a bad spot, but it has been managed by Derevyanchenko's corner very well.
And look at how Derevyanchenko lands a body shot and then turns Golovkin, getting an angle on him. I would love to see Derevyanchenko double up those body shots.
Derevyanchenko, the last 3 rounds, has had an edge in power shots, 45-31. So what you're sensing here is backed up by the numbers that Derevyanchenko has been busier in throwing hard shots as well. There's another one to the body. Just missing with that right hand, but he's busy. And when he's throwing, Golovkin doesn't. Tries again to the body with the right hand and then comes back with a hook to the head. Just good versatility to his game.
Oh yeah, he turned southpaw right there. Got an angle, ducked to the body, turned southpaw and banged away. Just very athletic on Derevyanchenko's part.
Derevyanchenko having a good round. Golovkin has had success as well. These are tough rounds. Okay. I didn't see it. Doctors are taking a close look. They have to.
Hey, box, over there. You okay?
Crowd, of course, wants this fight to go on. It is a barn burner right now. Round 8, scheduled for 12. Here's Chris Mannix's scorecard, and he has it even. These are close rounds, Chris.
Last couple of rounds very close, but the activity of Derevyanchenko, I think that has won him the rounds that he's won.
Golovkin goes back to work with the jab. Take a look at the power punches through round 7, and Derevyanchenko has the advantage, especially earlier on with that hard hook to the liver of Golovkin, which nearly buckled him. That was buckled for Golovkin, because he's rarely staggered. You never see him hurt.
Derevyanchenko has not forgot about the body since the 3rd round. He's been digging downstairs, and that's been the difference.
Right hand to the head by Derevyanchenko. He has had a tremendous fighting spirit in this fight. Again, he had every reason to think everything was stacked against him. But he is right back in it. He digs to the body again.
Keep him up.
Golovkin is just not busy enough with that jab. Again, I mentioned he's got the most accurate jab in the game, but he is being out-jabbed in this fight.
Because he's being countered every time he jabs. To the body and upstairs.
Now he's stalking, though. He's got Derevyanchenko in the corner. Derevyanchenko spins out.
Watch your head.
Can Gennadiy Golovkin pull this out? He is being severely tested. Everything is on the line. Backing up Derevyanchenko.
Watch the floor.
Crowd senses it.
Stop. They're off his head.
Sergio, this is the time to dig deep. You just wonder who has the deeper reservoir.
It's incredible, Brian, because we're seeing 2 different fights where Golovkin started off strong. Now you see Derevyanchenko backing up Golovkin. And it's those body shots right there that have been doing the job.
Derevyanchenko, again, the short arms, the stockier body. He's able to dig and he's able to land, doing damage throughout this fight. But also that jab. That jab has just been outstanding. Straight up the middle, although now it's Golovkin with the better jab. It's gone back and forth. Chris Mannix has it even. These judges are looking at this so closely, and these are difficult rounds to score.
Notice how Golovkin is protecting them ribs. Every time he throws a jab, he brings the elbows right back in.
Round 8 here at Madison Square Garden. Brian Kenny with Sergio Mora and Chris Mannix ringside. Steve Smoger is with us, Claudia Trejos, Adnan Virk. And this is not quite what we expected. Although we should learn in this building that can happen.
That's what Derevyanchenko and Andre Rozier expected.
Body shot.
Time.
Sergiy Derevyanchenko there. You see the eye is closed up. Good uppercut by Golovkin to open up round 9. They get right at it. Derevyanchenko's corner has done an outstanding job with that cut. It is barely a factor, although of course it is always there and always a possibility. Chris Mannix giving the last 2 rounds to Derevyanchenko.
Yeah, good activity in those last 2 rounds. So few fighters in the career of Gennadiy Golovkin have been able to stand up to this type of power. Derevyanchenko's doing that and is just moving forward for most of this fight.
Claudia Trejos is with Jonathan Banks in Golovkin's corner. Claudia?
Thank you, Brian. Coach JB, what defensive adjustments have you made?
The goal before the fight was for G to start jabbing towards the left eye. Because I knew he would cut easy if he started jabbing towards the left eye. And it happened. He cut him with the left. He cut him jabbing towards the left eye. All these adjustments we made, now he got to just let his hands go more and using more of his defense. He's not using it right now.
He's getting hit more than we've ever seen. What type of reaction are you getting out of him?
I'm getting a good reaction out of him, but this kid is younger than most of the kids that he fought. Most guys that he fought. So this, like his nickname, he's the technician. He's letting his hands go. The only thing I need G to do is match his speed and let his hands go too. You see, he can hurt the guy. He just got to start throwing more than one punch. He need to go 2 to 3 so he can hurt this kid and get him out of here.
Thank you, Coach Banks. Back to you, Brian.
Claudia, thank you. Derevyanchenko has gone to work, backing up Golovkin. By the way, does Banks think that cut came from the punch? I believe he does think that, right?
I think he believes that. It depends on what he's been told by the referee. It's the referee's job to advise both corners where that cut came from to make sure they're aware.
Golovkin fires back with a jab. Steve Smolger, you want to back that up? What is supposed to happen in that case?
That's the referee's call. The commission very rarely will overturn it. Now in Nevada, they go to replay. We don't have replay here, so we have to be guided by Harvey Doc's call.
All right, Steve, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Again, it just appeared that Banks said, look, he cut it with the jabs. We showed a replay where we thought that's the way it happened, but the commission evidently ruling otherwise, so that's where we are right now. Now, we're in round 9, so this could just go to the cards anyway, and it'd just be straight up from the judges.
What a round Derevyanchenko's having. While we were in the corner of Jonathan Banks, he was doing some great combination work, backing up Golovkin, not forgetting the body. Just incredible stuff by Derevyanchenko.
And Golovkin there, just as you say that, now throwing that jab and landing straight up. Derevyanchenko has to take a big gulp of air. He fires back with a jab and a right hand. Wow, Derevyanchenko coming right back. It looked like he had been hurt. This has been a war. All right, I believe that's the case as well. That's what we thought. Now, then again, this doesn't look like it's going to be stopped because of the cuts of the point could be moot, and they will just go to the judges' cards at the end of 12 rounds. Right now, Chris Mannix is giving multiple rounds to Derevyanchenko and has him leading, and Derevyanchenko is getting after it here in round 10. Pounding on Golovkin. Push to the head. Golovkin is wobbled. How much can Golovkin take? Golovkin's left cheek is reddened and starting to puff up. Jab and a right hand from Derevyanchenko. This is a man who's 33 years old. He only has 14 pro fights. His professional career has never gotten traction. He had the one big shot against Daniel Jacobs. He fought well but came up short on the short end of a split decision. But now he is having the night of his life.
Bloody, bruised, knocked down, facing adversity. Just what a fight. What a heart of a champion of Derevyanchenko.
Derevyanchenko's punches, Sergio, are just short and harsh. Golovkin fires back. Now with the right hand after a hook. Derevyanchenko fires back straight up the middle. 3 jabs in a row. Combinations.
Keep him up.
The crowd is behind Golovkin.
Keep him up, Sergey.
Derevyanchenko has not been moved.
Golovkin trying to do that corkscrew punch that he's famous for that caught Steve Rolls and Marco Rubio before.
Sergio, sometimes guys fight and they know when this is their last chance. Sergiy Derevyanchenko is fighting like he knows this is his last chance.
He has put it all together, boxing beautifully throughout the night. Look at him fire back again. Every time Golovkin starts to have success, Derevyanchenko comes back, beautiful uppercut, and fires a right hand over the top. Straight up the middle. Golovkin even nods to him, showing him respect.
Keep that arm down.
40 seconds left in this round. Golovkin is firing now. Derevyanchenko, good defensive work, and he fires back. Straight up the middle.
Sit back.
Golovkin. Now round 11. Chris Mannix, how did you score that 10th round?
I gave that 10th round to Sergiy Derevyanchenko. I think his activity has just been the real deciding factor in some of these close rounds.
Wow. I mean, I'm calling it. I'm watching it. I'm giving no thought to how to score it. The judges, it's a very difficult fight to score.
I'm humbled watching both these guys, Brian. It's just I know the adversity that Sergiy Derevyanchenko is going through. The cut, the knockdown, everything.
Claudia Trejos is in the corner with Derevyanchenko's man, Andre Rozier. Claudia?
Thank you, Brian. Coach Rozier, how do you see this fight developing?
It's a close fight. The knockdown has us a little behind, but he's working. He's doing a lot of good things. You can't wait, though. Aye!
You have mentioned a couple of times that he has to throw his hands. What kind of reaction do you get from him?
Yeah, we have to keep it close so he can keep working, and he has a better advantage when he uses his technique in the circle.
Thank you, Coach Rozier. Back to you. Back.
Andre Rozier there. Tough time to be interviewed. It's all on the line here. Round 11. Final 2 minutes. Both men digging deep. Well, they think they could be behind, Chris, and I think that's a natural thought, given that there was the knockdown, so they know there's a 10-8 round in there, and there are so many tight rounds.
Extremely tight rounds. I don't think they can be truly comfortable that they've won too many of them decisively.
I mean, they've got to be thrilled with the work. Derevyanchenko has been terrific. Golovkin, though, heart of a champion, Hall of Famer, digging, knows he cannot afford a loss if he wants to keep everything going.
Sit back. Good.
But he is down to his last 4 minutes, and he could be trailing. Derevyanchenko, though, Sergio, is just so tight. Again, those punches, the jab, right hand, straight up the middle, difficult to get around.
Very compact, strong. Every time he gets hit, he comes back with a counter, 2 or 3 punches, and does not forget the body.
One thing this reminds me of, Brian, if you go back to the spring of 2018, Golovkin had an opportunity to fight Derevyanchenko when Canelo dropped out of that fight. He didn't want to fight him. He went on instead, fought Vanes Martirosyan instead, in a far easier fight. Maybe what we're seeing is why.
Canelo Alvarez will fight November 2nd, moving up to light heavyweight. Most boxing fans thought a trilogy would be looming. This could certainly derail that. Derevyanchenko shaking that off. He's got a good chin. He's been able to weather a number of storms in this one last round with so much on the line. And I tell you what, fellas, Golovkin did not look good there in the corner. He was spitting blood. He is taking deep breaths. He's got to dig down one last time. Derevyanchenko comes out firing.
Firing at the body. 12th round, still going to the body.
Chris, you gave that last round to Golovkin. It is likely very close. The only fighters to get to round 12 against Triple G, Canelo Alvarez, Daniel Jacobs, and this man, Sergiy Derevyanchenko. 35 knockouts in his 39 wins. Wow, that was drama. I mean, just in the corner, the way Golovkin looked, and then Derevyanchenko with a whole team of people working on his face.
Well, it is the big drama show, but we didn't expect it to sway into Derevyanchenko's side.
So much on the line. Again, Triple G signing up with DAZN, has his own promotional company, getting into a long-term deal with the hopes of getting Canelo Alvarez, and now that is on the line, very much so.
Look at those body shots and how he turns Golovkin, getting the angles, making Golovkin miss and trying to back him up. That's key, and that was game plan and strategy on Andre Rozier's part.
Yeah, one of the things we talked about was, does Andre Rozier have a blueprint because he's been the trainer for Curtis Stevens and Daniel Jacobs? In a way, Sergio, I think Canelo Alvarez set a bit of a blueprint, that if you can take these punches, you can throw a lot more back.
Absolutely, and Derevyanchenko executing the game plan. Look at the body, he's still digging away at the body.
I'll hit him behind the head.
Tell you, that said, fellas, these rounds are close. We don't know how they're swinging. Chris is doing our unofficial scorecard for us. A lot of these rounds, Chris, is it fair to say, could swing either way?
Several of them could have swung either way.
Important to note, final minute of this fight. Derevyanchenko has made a tremendous stand.
I got you. I'm here.
And he has landed many power shots. The most power shots in the last 25 fights against Golovkin since CompuBox has been tracking him. Again, this is a man who had 23 consecutive knockouts between 2008 and 2017. A man who stormed through the middleweight division. Up against a severe test here tonight. Final 30 seconds. Let's see what they got. Both men have emptied the tank. But they're trying. Crowd on their feet. Uppercut by Golovkin. Derevyanchenko has him on the ropes. Now they spin out. That's the fight.
A round of applause for these two middleweights for one hell of a fight here at the Mecca of Boxing. Kevin Morgan scores it 114-113. Eric Marlinsky and Frank Lombardi both have it 115-112 to the winner by unanimous decision. Once again, a world champion from Karaganda, Kazakhstan, the new IBF IBO middleweight champion of the world, Gennadiy Golovkin, a.k.a. Triple